Welcome to the CEO Bros Podcast, After Hours, with Brian Baldoff, co-founded, grew, and sold VHT Studios. Brad Baldoff, CEO and co-founder of By Your Side Autism Therapy Services. Matt Croak, the consummate entertainer, jack of all trades, and serves as our host.
All right, so there's still some confusion.
There's meat on the bone.
There's meat on the bone, and I still have questions. So we are continuing. Welcome to CEO Bros.
Okay.
For those of you who are turning in for the first time, check out, and I don't know if it's going to be the last one because we may separate it, even some other ones out, but check out our previous episode on marketing. This is part 2. Still,
Can I say to our good friends in Australia?
Yes.
Our good friends in Vietnam. We see that there's Vietnamese watching.
Yep.
We see our good friends in England. I'd always wanted to go to London.
Yep.
I've never been there.
Yep. We are about community building. Drop us a chat. Let us know where you're from.
And lastly, our good friends in India. So we welcome all our new viewers from those countries.
It's being translated into Hindi in the subtitles. So.
I don't believe so
No, it
yet.
is. I know it is. Yeah.
It is being?
Oh, yeah.
Well, okay. We learned something new about our podcast today. Thanks, Bri. Appreciate that.
You're
now,
welcome.
we were on part 2.
I sent you an email, but I know you guys don't read.
I was just listening to email and
You read
text.
text.
All right, go.
So let's recap. So it's part 2, but still give us the 5 P's for marketing, first of all.
Right.
So that's where we just list them.
Number 1, most important. Well, not most important. Well, first.
What are you guys quizzing me? People.
People.
That's right. Who's your target demographic, everybody? That's your people.
Right.
Who are you going after?
And what are you going after them with? What's the product?
What's your product?
It could be a service, could be software, it could be a retail location, a restaurant. What are you selling? What are you offering?
Oh, you just veered off. Product is a product or service.
Right.
And now we're talking about our place.
Well, yeah.
Well,
I mean,
true.
Restaurant,
Go
place,
ahead.
and a service at the same time. I mean, the food's your product, the service is your service, the place is the restaurant, the bar, the lounge. Go visit our friend A-Rex.
Yeah, exactly.
Behind the bar. Price. How you price your product is part of your marketing strategy. And then promo is where we kind of left off. We didn't get into the details. We started talking about there's awareness and brand building. There's sales support, marketing, and then in the middle will be promo.
So we're on promo. You're going to a story. So if you want to hear
I'm
more,
going to jump back though. So.
You want to go back a little bit?
Well, just on the 4 Ps.
Yeah, please.
And I know my real estate friends will hate this, but when I got into the industry, the 4 Ps of marketing real estate were pound a sign, put it in the MLS, print a brochure, and pray. And so we added the 5th, which was photography.
Yeah.
He said that is now an official P of marketing real estate. So.
Very good, Brian.
That's with an F, though, photography.
Right, in Australia.
So you are
in France.
I mean, you've got a lot of P.
There's a lot of P's. A lot of P's.
Speaking of which, if I could take a quick break.
No, we didn't really.
No, we
break.
didn't take a break.
All right.
So then you also mentioned the 3 different modules.
Yes, yes.
What were those?
Kind of categories of marketing that, like, at a bigger company, you'll see different department under the marketing umbrella. You'll see brand and awareness building, which is mostly advertising, general advertising. You'll see direct marketing, which is where Brad and I have spent a lot of time. You know, to me, that's like a sales group within marketing. They sell the product directly. They have a quota. They have to drive so much revenue. It's basically, I send you an email and say, buy this product, and you buy it. I'm not sending you to a store. I'm not generating a lead for a salesperson.
There's no direct sales rep that's coming to you.
Right.
So there's all online in a marketing transaction.
Just like there's direct sales, there's also direct marketing. So a lot of online businesses, that's what it is. You know, hey, here's an ad for this shirt. Click here and buy it. There's nothing else to it.
Okay.
And it just comes down to the power of that marketing. How well do they understand this customer? How well do they understand the value prop of the product I'm selling? How strong have you made the call to action? How smooth have you made the experience? How easy has marketing made it to buy this product? And And none of these are singular. You know, how easy is it to buy the product? That gets into operations. It gets into other areas of the company.
Well, where does customer experience fit in? I mean, By Your Side is a service industry and a lot of word of mouth. And our front desk, the experience of being greeted and hello, that goes a long way of people trusting us with their children. That's marketing, right?
Well, you ask such great questions, Matt, because that's a nirvana that you rarely see at a company. And it drives marketing people crazy because marketing is saying this to the public and to the consumer. Hey, this is what we are. We're friendly, we're reliable, we're whatever. If that's not the experience they receive, and you've just wasted hundreds or thousands of dollars on marketing, the two have to be in sync. And the bigger a company gets, the harder that is. You know, if I'm a hot dog, place, pretty easy because I run the place and, I put out my brochures or postcards or whatever and say, hey, come here. And it's, it's a good value, great tasting hot dog in a comfortable environment. And I can make sure when you get there that it's clean and that it's well lit and stuff like that. But man, you start getting, where marketing is saying this and customer service is doing this, sales is doing this, and the delivery group or operations doing something else. Like, okay, what company am I?
It's not aligned, and if it's not aligned, you get some problems.
And that is tricky to align those things.
And if there's a lot of and that happens if there's a lot of different touch points with the customer, the client, which we in our space have that. And so if everyone's not aligned in the messaging, which is essentially your marketing, if it's not aligned, it could get you into problems. And that's why we spend at our company an inordinate amount of time on communication, because communication is marketing. It's how you want the customer to perceive you, the impression you want to make, and everybody's got to be rowing the boat in the same direction. So, and that's marketing. I mean, it's a pretty broad term, but it's that important. So, Brian, you were telling us the story a couple of days ago. I know, or actually yesterday, you were telling me the story about how he thought he had the right demographic for his marketing product. And Brian, was actually looking forward to getting one of your giveaways that you thought was appropriate. Right. And tell him why it wasn't appropriate.
Okay, so
we'll hand it out first.
No, I'll hand it out when it's appropriate. Wait your turn.
You brought
kid.
props?
I brought props.
Right.
I brought them last week, and you wouldn't let me show them.
Wow.
Show and tell. This is my second show and tell, by the way. And
it was a cliffhanger.
I know. Hopefully, everybody came back with friends. I hope everybody brought 2 friends back.
In the first show and tell, we did not hurt any animals in the process, even though there was a hamster that got away.
We have a PETA representative here. So.
Yes, exactly.
This is a good story because I don't know, about 8 years in, maybe 10 years into VHT, we were finally at the point where we could bring in a professional marketing agency. And the first thing they do, I'll give a shout out to Red Caffeine here in Chicago. They're phenomenal. They come in and they kind of do an audit. And they ask all the questions that we just talked about. Okay, who's your target audience? What's your value proposition? What's your competitive advantage? Let's go through the personas. We spent hours working through the personas of who our people were. And so at the end of all this, they're like, okay, here's the news for you guys, VHT. Your client, your target is a realtor. And realtors in the United States, the typical realtor is a 65-year-old woman. It just is. You talk to the National Association
of Realtors.
Is that true? It's absolutely true.
Okay.
Look at the National Association of Realtors. They actually publish, here's what a realtor looks like in the United States. Age, median income, what kind of car they drive.
It's so discriminatory, isn't it?
It's it's reality. So
it's a profile of a realtor in America. Okay.
And she said, now look at your management team and who's putting together the marketing. And it was like 6 middle-aged guys. And she said, and your marketing looks like you're marketing to 18-year-old boys. So, because
nice work, boys.
Because the mistake we made was we always went with what we thought was cool.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, people are going to love this. So everything was black and silver, black and gold. It was Star Wars. It was Star Trek. It was whatever. And They're like, hate to tell you this, but 65-year-old women don't really respond to that stuff. so the best example of it was I had
Nor
the greatest.
98% of Americans only the Star Wars fan club.
I didn't want to.
Only the
I was
Star
trying to
Wars
figure out how to
fan
connect
club.
Star Wars Star Trek to VHT.
It's like,
selling
yes,
homes, but
sorry, we lost. You
Well, you
lost
did it.
us there
All right.
when you went down the Star Wars fan club.
May the mortgage be with you.
So I had the greatest idea ever. This was prior to the awakening, the audit. A lot of our business was about convenience and professionalism. And so we do a lot of trade shows. You always got to bring a handout for trade shows. So I thought to myself, I saw online somewhere the head scratcher. If you don't know what a head scratcher is, I brought one for each of you.
Oh, I don't know a head scratcher.
Yeah, here you
There
go.
you go.
A-Rex, here you go.
Because I thought,
you want to use
I
it?
get
pass
one
that
too.
down.
Yeah, you get one. We all
sure.
have one. Here,
So,
yeah, take that.
I mean, think about this. Okay, so this, you rub this on your head, feels great. So the tagline,
does
I'll
feel
have to
good.
take my
Oh, my-
headphones off.
Yeah.
This, for those of you who are listening with no audio, it looks like a whisk that you make pancakes, but with no top, and you put it over your head, and it's like spiders down your skull, and it's quite.
And it hits all your nerve endings
all the nerve
on your
endings.
head, so you get this sensation of just total massage, therapeutic, feels great.
So, okay, now that you've had the experience, and hopefully people at home have had the experience, two amazing taglines for this. Think about this. One is relax, leave it to a professional.
Oh, okay.
Our business. Why take your own photographs if you're a real estate agent? Have a professional do it. Relax. Do what you do best. Perfect tagline. The second was, why would anybody ever do their own photography? That's a head scratcher. Boom. So we got banners at our booth that say these two things. I bought like 10,000 of these from some company in China. They sent them in one just big cardboard box.
We appreciate
Threw
our
them all
viewers in
there.
China.
Yes, and Chinese products.
Although that's not true. We have no viewers in China yet. I don't
We're
think
forbidden
they'll
in
allow. I
China.
don't think they'll allow
We're
us, but
blocked.
that's okay.
So I was so excited to roll these out of this. I'm like, this is the best thing ever. It was such a flop. It was crazy. I'm like, nobody took a head scratcher. Nobody wanted a head scratcher. I'm like, no, come on. So for like 4 hours at this trade show, I was so disappointed. And then it kind of occurred to me because someone later said,
This is good. I appreciate this.
you really don't understand women, do you, Brian? Because everyone here spent a lot of time doing their hair and makeup for this event. And you're asking them to run this thing through their hair before they're going to dinner with all their
do it.
associates.
Really?
So yeah. So
And it'd be hard to get through there. Like they'd really have to dig this into their
But
head.
if a bald man
Yes.
was
Or
around,
someone
if
with
our
little
target
hair.
market was
Yes.
you guys,
we would have won.
I wouldn't
Or you
have
would've
so
won.
many extra head scratchers at home right now. But so at the
Now
same
those
time,
dressed as stormtroopers, they'd have to take their helmet off for your Star Wars fans.
right. So then the brand's always like, well, what's the
So
end
wait,
of
I'm
this
sorry. So
story?
this is actually a very interesting story. So this was purchased before, or after
Before.
Red Caffeine. Is that what
Before
the
this
company
was the
before?
this was the guy's version.
Okay.
We also
So you still didn't have this company come in and audit you yet. So that's your
No.
first sign of we might be looking at the wrong demographic.
This was their whiz bang idea. We know what we think
Yeah.
our demographic is. We know how to market to them.
10,000
And they were
of them.
completely
Wow.
wrong.
yes.
And by the way, for the viewers out there that are starting businesses and spent a lot of money with a very cool product that's fun to use, but it was wrong.
Right.
Wrong idea.
But if you go to CEObros.com right now, I will sell you.
For the low price of
For the low-
$39.99, even though the landing cost
We
was
have a-
30 cents.
We have a buy one, get one free
For
sale.
your women out there,
That's right.
65-year-old.
For all you bald men.
No, I think they're cool, Brian. Brian, is a great gift idea. It was a great gift to give
I
away.
think it's a great idea.
Thank you.
And
No, it's a great lesson. It's a great, yeah.
I mean, the taglines were perfect.
Yeah.
So,
Head
so
scratcher's good. I like the head scratcher.
yeah, well, it's a head scratcher. Why would people
Right,
do
it's
it
like, yeah,
themselves?
yeah.
Yeah. So Brad made the point. Brad, well, your stories never have an ending. This stuff,
you're
planes,
gonna
trains,
have
and
a
automobiles
story,
thing. What's the
have a
What's the point here? After our audit and revelation of who our target market is, this was what was suggested. It is a nail file.
Oh,
with VHT Studios, photographs on it, go with a pro tagline, phone number, website. Hottest freaking thing
go
you've
back to Brian.
ever seen at a real estate trade show. People were taking them by the handfuls. People were calling us and emailing us. How do I get more nail files? I wouldn't have thought of this in a million years.
Now, keep in mind, for those that are out there, Brian and his marketing department's mission was brand awareness. It wasn't necessarily, I'm going to sell a customer by giving one of these away. But what he did do was stick a logo and a brand and an image in front of somebody, and they wanted it. And now it's on someone's desk. It's at someone's.
That was the key.
It's in someone's bathroom at home. It's in someone's home. And they see VHT. They think, when they're thinking real estate, they're thinking VHT. That is a successful marketing campaign. Same amount of money probably spent as these.
Oh yeah. I mean, these are probably even less expensive. So
right. So the point is, 2 products, 2 giveaway items. One item that was the coolest item in the world from their perspective to give away that flopped, and he's probably got boxes of these at his home. I'll take those boxes from you. But the file, the nail file with the VHT logo, completely successful, exact opposite end of the spectrum of success. And just goes to show you, like, where money, if it's spent wisely, what it could do for your brand. And that was a really cool thing. So
this is actually the last nail file that I know of.
Really?
Believe it or not. Yeah. They were that popular. No one gives
Can you
them
pass it over?
Amber would like to see. Keep an eye on this.
So when you guys need
that back.
So when you're when you're hiring, when you're growing your business and you hire a marketing department and you hire a marketing manager, someone to run the department, are you looking for something, or do you both have enough marketing experience where you kind of know what to hear, or or are there going to be entrepreneurs who are going to not know a lot about marketing? How do they hire the right person to handle this endeavor?
Another good question, Matt, because like we talked about with the professional service providers, there are disciplines within marketing. Like, there are people that all they do is brand awareness advertising, and they specialize in it. If that's not what you're looking for your business, don't hire that type of person. If you're looking for somebody who's doing events, trade show marketing, working with the sale, that's a different type of
marketing expertise. And
it's more in the trenches, front lines kind of thing, less strategic, less global. They're both marketing people on the surface, but when you get below, it's what are, we never got to the ROI. What are the goals? What are the OKRs? What are the KPIs for this particular person? Is it to help generate leads for sales? Is it to
convert sales from marketing exercise out, or is it brand awareness?
Building brand.
Are you just a good advertiser? Like, you write the best types of campaigns with the idea of brand awareness in mind, or are you really good at direct marketing sales, where you've put a product together, you put an ad or a marketing campaign out, and it converts sales instantly, right? I mean, there is overlap. You will find marketing people that just, that's all I do is this. It's like, no, they're schooled and they're educated in different lines of marketing. But to Brian's point, you may specifically in the beginning say, I just want to get my brand out there so people know who I am. As I'm preparing, as I'm ramping up, I want somebody to solely focus on brand awareness. And then I want to convert it to direct marketing, right? I want marketing sales coming in, and that's a different type of expertise, right? Someone that can close sales on the spot. And then there's sales support, which is marketing sales support, which is the people that can show up in trade shows and represent you and interface with the general public and talk public speaking with people, So it is figuring out what you need. And there are different expertises that you need for different things. But you, hopefully, for those of you that are starting businesses or concerned about this, you just look in people's backgrounds, look in their resumes, look at their subject, look at the subjects and or the experiences they have, because a lot of it's spelled out. Graphic design, direct mail campaigns, trade show, public interaction. All that stuff you can see within a resume, and you can flush that out in interviews as well. Because you want to tell them what you're looking for specifically. What I need you to do in this marketing role is this and this. Do you have experience doing these things? Because if you don't,
these kind of results,
that's probably not the marketing person.
Well, and the pattern sounds like not only when you're talking about marketing and take your time, don't just send emails. The same comes from hiring a marketing director. What are you looking for? What it seems like the pitfall, maybe people jump in too quick to either hire someone, I need marketing, or I need to get stuff out there without saying, what is the goal?
Right. And it's, or an agency. So if you're talking about starting up a business and you don't have marketing experience, I would find an agency first. And an agency could just be one person. It could be a consultant. We talk about professional services. Just find somebody that does small business marketing for restaurants or for hair salons or for...
What was Red Caffeine? Am I getting that right?
Yeah.
So what were they? Did you have a marketing department? They audited you? What's that service? Tell me about that.
No, they're actually an agency who will take over all of your marketing for you. Because we had been trying
on an ongoing basis.
On an ongoing basis.
But
the way they start and the way any good professional service organization is going to start is they do an audit of the things we talked about. Do you guys know who your customer is? Do you know what your competitive advantage is? What channels do you sell through? Let's go through some personas. How do you use pricing as a strategy? They actually, as long as we're on the topic, the second big thing that they brought to us was we were making a critical strategic mistake. We thought we were brilliant because all of our eventual competitors, we talked about earlier when we first started, we didn't have competitors. Well, we got a lot of copycats afterwards because it wasn't low barriers to entry in the photography business. You basically buy a camera and you can say you're in the photography business. Doesn't mean you're good, but you could be in it. And so we had a lot of competitors. They just copied our website, copied our product offerings and such. And everybody just did, hey, 20 photographs, $150. And the people who wanted to be the low-cost provider did it for $99. People who were a premium provider did it for $200, did it better, ideally. Well, we realized one size doesn't fit all in real estate. There's homes that sell for $300,000. There's homes that sell for $3 million. They require different levels of service. So we created a signature service and a premium service. And it was, the premium service was kind of the white glove. It was the more experienced photographers. It was a little more editing. And the signature was, hey, the equivalent was I want my oil change.
Yeah.
I could do it myself, but I don't want to. Can you do it for me?
United Airlines and TED Airlines.
Yeah, exactly. Two different, it was product brands as opposed to brands in general. It was like, hey, this is, if you just want someone else to do it and you want it to be done well and reliably, you do this. If you want the best of the best, you do this. And so part of the marketing audit was you guys have kind of put yourself in a corner. It's brilliant that you did this, but it's run its course. You've differentiated yourself as the one-stop shop, come here for either, but you ought to consider going to a more traditional good, better, best strategy, which you see a lot in like sports equipment. You buy golf clubs, you can get, a $5,000 set of clubs, $1,000 set of clubs, or a $200 set of clubs. And you have a different strategy. The $200 set of clubs, you get at Kmart. The $5,000 set of clubs, you get at a custom golf shop, and the $1,000 you get at like Dick's or something like that. And the key to a good, better, best strategy is you're driving people to the middle.
Yeah.
Because if you have a choice of three, people just their natural inclination is to choose the one in the middle.
And they feel like they're in control because I made a choice.
I made the choice, right? And so you still cover the whole spectrum. We got the people who just want someone else to do it. We got the people who want the top, but the people who can't make a decision, they go in the middle. And
upgrading probably seems better because you're going,
yes.
Well, I'm at I don't want to jump all the way there, but I can go one more higher. So you think you're getting a value when really you were upsold.
Yeah, that was a big part of it because people, the first time they used professional photography, it's like, oh, I don't have a lot of money. I don't know if this house is going to sell. It's overpriced. It's like, okay, so we went to a silver, gold, and platinum, good, better, best series of photography. It would start at silver. The photographer would explain to them, hey, next time, or if you've got a more expensive home, you might want to try the gold series of photography. Includes more services, more editing, more time on site, stuff like that. And it was, kind of the second revolution in real estate photography. We were the first ones to do a good, better, best. No,
it's kind of it's a cool philosophy though for any type of product. If you're out there starting a product or service out, think about that good, better, best mentality. Where to the points you made, Matt, where it's like, I don't know if I can afford that top of the line, but I could definitely take an upgrade up to the middle, and that's what you ultimately were seeking from your customers in the first place, was a middle. Was the
middle ground, yeah.
Right? So that's
where we had originally started when we had one product, was the middle. And by adding something on either side, people become a lot more comfortable. It's kind of like, the other big strategy, it applied to us a little bit, but less, was the like the meal deals, putting together bundles. Hey, you know what? You could get just photography, or you can get photography, a floor plan, and drone, or you can get photography, floor plan, drone, 3D, and video. So
kind of layer up
packaging,
premium packaging
and bundling was another big marketing strategy for us.
It's funny how I looked at when I looked at marketing from prior companies. The one marketing story that comes to mind for me is when we did the Reduced Shakespeare Company, where I was producing the comedy troupe, and I remember, we'll have her as a guest, Noreen Heron from the Heron Agency. She's got a boutique marketing firm, very successful firm in the city. And we hired her to help us market these shows, the show that we were going to do in Chicago. And like any other show that comes to Chicago, or a theater troupe or a theater show that comes through, it's like, okay, there's another show coming in the city, but how do you differentiate? How do you separate?
Every week, every month?
And I just was adamant about, we had a big meeting with her team, and we were sitting around, and it goes back to what you said, Brian, about like, you got to make an impression, because this has to stick. So no matter what you do, you got a product or service, how are you going to separate yourself? And in this case, it was kind of cool. We're marketing a comedy show, a comedy troupe. And I just said, we've got to do something just so it's, I've always said, it's got to be a shock and awe campaign. It's got to be something that's going to turn people's heads. And so we were sitting around the room, and I said, hey, you know what we should do? I got it. I go, let's buy a full page ad in the Chicago Tribune obituary section. And it'll say, you'll die laughing from this show.
Wow.
And everybody went silent in the room and was like, holy shit.
Is he serious?
And Noreen goes, I love that idea. She goes, that is so far out there. It went from
what to, wait a minute.
She's like, that is so far out there. And I go, that's exactly what I want. And this is how we're going to, and she goes, I got to call the Tribune and see if they would do it. And they were a hell no. We are not selling you a page in the obituary section. I said, can you imagine that? You're flipping through, your loved ones passed away, and then all of a sudden it's like, you'll die laughing. See the Reduced Shakespeare Company at the XYZ Theater.
The Bible, the complete Word of God abridged, is in the style of Monty Python's Life of Brian. It is juvenile, but not blasphemous.
Jesus, for people.
Irish Supreme Court.
Can I get an amen for the way of the Lord? Amen.
Better than the book. Minister from the Church of Scotland who told us that in person one time.
We have ministers of all denominations, 5s, 10s, and 20s, come see it, and they send their congregation.
All right, listen up, children of Israel. I got some good news and some bad news. The good news is I got them down to 10.
Initially, the whole group in the room was just like, they were raving over the idea, because think about the impression, but it would be a lasting effect. But here's the point: is if you want your product to stand out, think of different ways, innovative ways, creative ways, shock and awe way. If you can do it, certain products you obviously can't do it. It's been something challenging for me, because I like to think I'm a creative, innovative marketer, and it's tough when you're dealing with a healthcare. A serious therapy delivery. That's something that is life-changing for a family. You're not messing around with that. They can't even be, there can't be anything comedic about it. It's all about quality delivery and in targeting your campaigns to make sure that people know that's what you care about. But it's tough when you've got that in your blood and you want to be able to really kind of get innovative and creative. And so I can remember that from my past.
I picture Brad go, screw you, Tribune. I'm putting billboards in every cemetery in the city.
Oh. Hey, I want to quickly go back just for the entrepreneur watching. Why did you go the route of Red Caffeine? Why did you not build your own marketing team? I just need a little more clarification.
Or did you have an existing marketing team that then said, well, what does that mean for us?
What step would an entrepreneur, what would you tell an entrepreneur that was a move you would suggest or a path to take? I'm still a little fuzzy on the details.
Sure. So marketing was critically important to the success of our business because we were actually marketing a marketing service to marketers, people who market real estate for a living. We're selling them a service to help them market real estate. Like, we got to walk the talk. And I think for entrepreneurs, though, in general, we've talked about this before, when you're early on, there's a lot of expertise. It's wide and thin, the expertise that you need. And you can't get that from one person. We couldn't afford to hire 5 marketing people, one to help the sales team, one to do advertising, one to do direct, one to do research, one to do product development. But an agency, like a Red Caffeine, had all that expertise, and you just use what you need when you need it. The people, they bring in a team, and they all, hear the main messaging, the targeting, the value prop, the mission, the vision, and then when you need somebody to do an event, they bring in somebody that's all they do is events. Whereas I could have hired a generalist, and we had a few generalists, but at the rate we were expanding, we couldn't onboard people quick enough, and they could just jump right in and do what they do. It's the same with I think all professional services. HR is another perfect example. Not to go off on a tangent, but there's just too much there to hire. You're
talking about within a human resource department.
Yeah, we outsourced that from the first 5-10 years.
And you outsourced it for a while, but I remember by your side, marketing was the first department you built. Like you obviously had HR outsourced, but that was one of the first ones you had was marketing. Like
in the specialty or what we needed at that time was literally brand awareness. We just had to put our brand out there because this service at the time was in so much demand. People just needed to know where they could get it. So it was, how do we come up with a campaign to let people know where we were? That's it. That's when you're in the right, service or the right product, is that people need it that bad. It wasn't, it'd be a nice to have or a want to have. This was, people needed it, but they didn't know where they could get it. So our marketing campaign very early on was creating a brand awareness campaign around By Your Side and everything that goes with just getting the name, the logo out there, letting people know who we were, and build it, and it will come, right? And they will come. So I think, and wrapping up on this side, I think that what we want to zero in on the marketing side, we've talked about this over the course of 2 podcasts. What I think people should take from this, from the viewers that are out there, is that know your demographic, know the people or persona that you are marketing to. Because if you don't know who your demographic is, your marketing dollars could be spent ill-advised, right? And then you have to know your product. I mean, that you would think is common sense, but is it a product or service? And know what your product is, but what differentiates that product from what's being used today, or what are the other similar products that are out there. Know what your product is, make sure that your price point is set appropriately, but also make sure, how do you want the impression you want to set? Do you want to be the highest price point, the lowest price point, somewhere in the middle, the best value for the buy? That's something you've got to decide up front, and then stay the course on that trajectory. You can't be the best or the premium product price point, and then 2 weeks later you're the lowest price point, then you're back up and you're lower. There's just too much disparity in that. You have to stick with a certain strategy. And then how do you want to market? You're going to market via bricks and mortar store. You're going to go all online. You can do everything through trade show. You can do direct to consumer. You can have a direct sales force. Figure out how you want to do that, and then budget appropriately for that. And then come up with your promotions. We talked about different ways of doing it, whether it's Brian gave some great examples of the good, better, best. Premium packaging, stepping up in packaging, you can consider that. And if you do those
That's
things,
a big trend nowadays for products. I think Apple started that whole thing, the packaging. I mean, I buy stuff now, it's like $50 and it comes in what appears to be $50 worth of packaging. Like well thought out, well designed. They feel bad throwing it out. Like,
yeah. No, and I think for the viewers that are out there that are, zeroing in on this marketing discussion, if you have given some really good thought to those 5 Ps, you probably stand a much better chance of your product or service launching more successfully than not. That's, I think, the takeaway from this.
We talk a lot about, I think we were going to wrap with return on investment. Marketing's an investment, and it's the trickiest one because it could get away from you really quickly. Whether it's just, the hot dog stand and doing an email campaign or doing flyers on cars or putting something in the Val pack. You said another important thing on a different topic, which is stick with it. I see way too many people who go, I sent out, 1,000 emails yesterday and I got nothing. It's like, okay, well, you a quitter? Like, that's like one email campaign. Like we said this earlier, you got to hit people 6 or 7 times before they get the message. Like you should be putting flyers on car windshields. You should be putting stuff in people's mailboxes. You should be sending emails. You should be advertising at the local baseball games or churches or, chambers of commerce or whatever is appropriate for you. It's a campaign. A one-time thing is never going to pay for itself. Like when we talked about these 3 categories, brand building and awareness is really kind of the air cover. You think of like a war or a battle. It's like, we need Air Force over the top of us to create cover. Then the people in the trenches are the sales team. We got to give them the tools and the weapons and the ammo and the logistics and stuff like that. And then in the middle is the one that actually is the easiest to track, the direct marketing. And this is something, you ask about what kind of discussions I had with my marketing people. It was usually on what's the best tool to track the results and are we hitting our metrics? Because it drove me crazy to do a direct marketing campaign that didn't have a tracking mechanism like a promo code. So, if you come to our website and order this, you have to use this promo code to get this deal. Everybody always hated that because it's like, well, that's one more step that they have to take and they have to remember.
It tracks success.
Then we know if it was successful, right? I'm not going to just put out an ad and not know if it's successful. And there's so many tools, like you can get different 800 numbers. If they're calling into a call center, your radio ad uses this 800 number, your TV ad uses this 800, your website uses this. You can even direct people to different websites. We had different aliases for our website, depending on where you were coming from. So we always knew what the source was of traffic, even if it wasn't to buy something, because, there's a concept of a funnel. You first want people to react and do something, coming to your website. That's a good indicator. We talked about this with one of your businesses. It's easy to get people to the site, but then they didn't transact. What happened? There's a lot of campaigns that it's to start a relationship. Hey, come to our website and sign up for our newsletter. Come to our website and download a free white paper on this specific topic. I'm not selling them anything at that point. I'm positioning myself as a subject matter expert. I'm establishing my brand. I'm starting a relationship. And then it's up to marketing to continue to follow up with them. Okay, subscribe to our newsletter. Now once a quarter, I'm going to send you a special or I'm going to make you an offer on something. And you've got to track all that. Like, where did this person originally come from? Was it the newsletter? Was it the white paper? Was it the podcast that we were on? Was it the event that we were at? That was another one. The company I was with recently was very adamant about events are expensive. They're time consuming. They're expensive. We have to be able to track the return somehow. So it's like, okay, let's put a QR code up on the banner that says, hey, shoot this and you'll get a free whatever from us. At least then we know how many people stopped by the booth, saw the banner, and we have now their email address or some contact information.
Well, I mean, it's definitely the importance of the return on investment, because if you're just going to start shotgunning money towards different marketing initiatives, you're not going to know what's working unless you have some form of a tracking mechanism involved. So if you're not using a code, some discount code or some type of code or a QR code or a coupon, something that can track the mechanism by which people are getting to your site or ultimately signing up for the service or buying the product, then you're shooting yourself in the foot from the marketing standpoint, because you need to know how your marketing spend. Now, once you determine that it's successful, now refine the process, tighten it up, go further. Like, all right, how do we tighten it more? How do we spend more money in this area? So you're going to definitely dabble through it. You're going to find out what works, what doesn't. Maybe you have a few things that work. So now take your entire marketing pool and put it into those 3 things and keep refining, tweaking the process. If you feel like you're just going to put money there, it works a little bit and you're like, that's good enough. It's not. It's a constant retweaking. It's a constant looking at the messaging. Can it be refined? Can you use better coding? Any different way that you can get better data to understand your return on investment is going to help you in the long run. So
that's the science. Marketing is really art and science. The art being the creative. How do I get their attention? But the science is where you get the return on investment, understanding the metrics and how you turn those knobs, tweak those knobs, get more efficient, get better. I mean, I've mentioned Alex, who I used to work with, was one of the founders of Orbitz, and they knew down to the penny. If we spend 5 cents advertising at 3 a.m. in Minneapolis with this message, this is how many clicks we'll get on our website. And so they had a whole bunch of dials that they could turn.
Now, when I walked in, you guys, I don't know where this is going, but you guys had a little bit of a difference of opinion. Is there a philosophical for
me and him?
Yeah. So what on high level, or was it just more? Because I wasn't privy to what that was.
That'll be a whole nother podcast. And
another teaser.
I have an empty drink right now, and I'm not going to get into that debate.
That's really kind of become our timer, hasn't it?
Another
drinks.
That's another teaser.
Yeah.
So make sure as I pull out my head scratcher again. By the way, if you're watching us on YouTube, check us out. If you're driving in your car, Spotify, we're on all the things. And if you're listening to us in your car or while you're walking, check us out on YouTube.
And drive careful.
Drive fast. Take chances. We have plenty of episodes now to catch.
Well, it's funny too, bad. I had a couple of friends of mine that asked me, and they're like, when I hear subscriber or subscribe, I automatically think I got to pay.
Yeah.
For life. You're not paying for anything with this. The subscriber button is essentially, which I didn't know this, so this is my podcast naivety, is that when you're a subscriber, all you're doing is just being notified when there's a new episode out.
Well, it's really, and when this sticks to the business of podcasting, it's really follow. I don't know. Subscribe is gone. It's really follow this show. You're following the show.
They should have used that, but they think LinkedIn stole it, and then YouTube didn't.
Okay. But really all it means is that you automatically get episodes downloaded into your account. So make sure you do that. Make sure you send us a comment. We are responding to comments.
While we're talking about the advertising quickly, though, do we know who the manufacturer of these? And can we talk to these guys about...
Notice how much Amber enjoyed hers until she dropped it?
Amber's already got her hair back up. She's done with this.
See, if you're listening to us, you have to go to YouTube to see us. We'll see what we're doing with the head scratcher. All right.
Until next time. Brian, that was really good discussion on marketing. I really appreciate that.
Good stuff. Our drinks are empty, so the glasses are going to sound loud. Until next time. Hey, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.